Well, hey yo everyone and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and let's get ourselves punched senseless in a preview of ARMS. Now this is a game that Nintendo is launching in just a couple of days. Yes, I know this is weird to say when it's on video because I don't know when you're watching this video, but as of the time of this recording, it is only just a few days away, and I am super pumped because this is a new IP. If you don't know, this is a new Nintendo IP, and it has some pretty cool looking characters. I mean, come on, look at that, right? It is definitely a game that I think has a lot of promise, and much like Splatoon, Nintendo decided to have a global demo of sorts. Now, the Splatoon demo is called, of course, the Global Testfire. This is called the Global Testpunch, and, well, I guess you're going to see here exactly why that is. Obviously, it uses motion controls as well as other more traditional controls, but the biggest draw for me was being able to punch with the Joy-Cons. This is something that's so natural and so easy to do. And actually, look at this. That's all you gotta do. And it really actually felt precise, and there wasn't any sense that this was something that was just tacked on. It felt like this game used this to great effect, and it was really designed to use these motion controls. Now, this is a nice little tutorial. It just really felt like it gave you everything you needed to know. My opinion as a whole of this game is that it is a game with terrific amounts of depth and a huge potential for you to really hone your skills and be tactical in how you play. It's precise, it's engaging, but the core mechanics are actually really simple, and I love that. Nintendo just nails this whole concept. It doesn't forgive, sloppy play, but it does allow someone new to the game, or even new to the genre, to just jump in and have fun. Now, the core game is really a one-on-one fighter, 3D fighter. And this is actually the very first time I had a chance to play. And I thought after the tutorial, hey, this game doesn't seem too bad, right? But here I am, playing against another human. In this case, I suppose his name's Matt. And, well, I'm not doing so well. Alright, so easy to learn, but it kind of felt pretty quickly like, ooh, I'm gonna have to really work and hone my skills. There you go. Ouch. Yeah, the first fight proved that there was enough depth and that nothing felt random. Okay, my defeat felt justified, and I felt like, looking back, I didn't play with enough strategy. Now, here we are. This is fast forwarding ahead, playing with another character here. Mummy, there's all, Master Mummy I think is the name. There are all these really great characters, and they all have different attributes. Master, whatever, is a big hulking guy and can actually guard and recharge energy or life. This is something I actually didn't realize in this playthrough, so you won't really see me doing that. Here I am, engaged in this fight, and I'm realizing already how to throw my punches, and with a simple twist of the Joy-Con, you can sort of curve your punches. Now, it's not just fighting, because here we are, and this is a cool little mode where you actually have a chance to take on some dummies, some whatever these creatures are, and just kind of practice. And then, of course, there's also this is volleyball. Who would have thought there'd be volleyball in this game? I can't even begin to fathom who was like, hey, you know what, this is a fighting game, let's throw volleyball in. But there's 1-on-1 and 2-on-2, and I think 2-on-2 is where this game really shines. Having a partner help you set up the ball is really a huge help. Now here's a match. This is just a full match. Two min-mins, so min-min. And it's actually really cool, because if you do what would be typically a grab, you sort of spike the ball, right? And then if you do a punch, you can actually try and knock it into the opponent's side. But even with that, it's really hard. And while it actually looks like it might be something simple to do, it's not so much. I felt myself getting a little frustrated with this mode, although I will say in the later Test Punch, there was a hoops mode, which was basically basketball, where you try and grab your opponent and throw them in, and I think that was actually a little bit more fun for me. But I could see myself really practicing this or playing it with couch co-op, and I think that's another area where this game is really going to shine. I'm super excited about that. Online, this was cool, but I think this game would be most fun with a bunch of friends sitting around the TV. Don't you think? Now, we've talked about a couple of odds and ends, a few other modes, and there are actually a lot more modes I think that will be out there in the full launch. But this is kind of getting back to the core of the game, the fighting game, and this was a little unusual. Here is 2-on-2 team battle, where you kind of have, you remember that Knuckles 32X game? And you're sort of bound to your other character via this slingshot bungee cord thing. That's kind of what's happening here. And it is so chaotic. It is really, really just a screen full of flashes, a screen full of punches. Fists and arms are flying everywhere. It's a little bit frenetic, shall we say. But that's okay. I think this mode really works well. Being bounced around because your opponent is moving around, and of course you're trying to dodge. You might get in the way of your partner, and your partner might actually hit you and stun you. It's a whole thing. But it really works well. It's a lot of fun, and while it sort of makes your heart pound during it all, again, it feels like everything is really tight. You never feel like you lost because the game cheated or was unfair, or there was too much leeway or looseness in the controls. Even as I said, I was using motion controls. I never had the desire to play with physical controls in this. I always felt the motion controls did a good enough job. Now, there are lots of other characters, of course, that you can play with, and I think that's one of the cool things too, is you can explore some of the differences in the various characters. But my favorite mode, I think, right, out of all of this, I think it might be this 1v1v1, because it has sort of the best of both worlds. You have to strategize as a single player and move around freely as such, but you have multiple people that you're fighting with, and so all of this going on at once. And I didn't get it at first, but later I realized and discovered that you could actually fairly easily swap between your opponent of interest, kind of like Z-targeting in Zelda. And when you start to do that, you start to strategize a bit more. Who are you going to go after? You have to think, okay, who is maybe the biggest threat, and you might go after them first, or you might think, who is going to be easy to take out, so then I can focus on really a 1v1 kind of match. And I think that's a neat mechanic. Now, you also notice that you can supercharge via a slew of punches, your own punches. You can actually get a gauge filled up and then attack with a stronger punch. Now that's what I did just there to knock out the other opponent. And here I am versus the last guy, and there we go. I actually can do fairly well at this game. I'll tell you what, this was my first run through. I didn't play too long, but I enjoyed every moment of it. I was a little on the fence, but when the second Global Testpunch came out, then I was sold. I thought, hey, this is a game that I have to get day one. This is definitely going to be an IP to watch. I think Nintendo hit a home run with it, and I'm saying that based on just the demo. I think there's going to be a lot of potential here, and I'm looking forward to playing it on stream and with some friends of Mana. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this preview. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in some matches of arms soon. As always, do good and be well. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.